Well, I've been diagnosed with liver cancer, and that's the theme of this playlist I created on YouTube. Um, I'm just gonna say why I think it happened to me here, and if I do die, this will be a kind of a testimony to what I think happened and what caused liver cancer in a person who never really drank past college. I get drunk off a half a beer, so I never really drank. But in my opinion, what actually caused it was a medicine that was prescribed me by a psychiatrist a long time ago. The psychiatrist's name was Dr. Donald Nassr, Nassr. It's not the usual spelling with the E. Nasser. It's Nassr. It's the way he spelled it when he came to Bowling Green from Canada. And he went back to Canada shortly after he began administering this drug, testing it on people like me, coercing us to take it, or else we wouldn't get out of his 6B clinic here at the medical center in Bowling Green. He pretty much controlled it for several years. He got me in his office. He coerced me into signing a waiver saying I wouldn't hold him responsible. I asked him why. He said, well, this drug has been around for a long time. This was back in like the mid 90s, I think. He told me the drug had been around 20 years before, but it had run into some problems where it had hit a couple of speed bumps, so to speak, and it was taken off the market by its manufacturer. Now, I was worried because I'm no idiot. A drug that was taken off the market for 20 years and suddenly is being doled out by a guy who was their favorite guy. He was like the poster boy for the pharmaceutical company to give it out. He was misleading some of his poor, dumber patients, undereducated patients, by telling them, you're getting the good stuff, just telling them the brand name, because he had all of the brand name Clozaril. It was Clozapine. Janie, get down. Kitty, get down. So Clozapine is the generic form. But what he was doling out and dressing up, prettying up to people who didn't have the education that I had, or even the experience, the education that way, was by calling it Clozaril or getting the brand name. He was really their go-to guy, the company that made it. So anyway, I told him I wouldn't sign it at first, so he kept me up in this ward for another week, where I was kept awake for hours and hours and hours in a stupor on worse medicines until I finally relented and signed on to take it. I have Poland's syndrome, which is a rare birth defect. Very rare. You have to Wikipedia it now. And I'm published on PIP UK under my name Mike Denny, Denney, about how I discovered that I had this problem. Here I might as well show the world, since I've been met with constant doubt about it. That's how Poland's syndrome pretty much affects you. You have no right pec. So as an old guy here, I'm just a flabby guy on the left. No right pec. Now you can't really tell, but your muscles, your lats are also missing, and your shoulder muscles that hold your shoulder in place. So I diagnosed myself with that when I was like 12, because the school nurse had told me I had scoliosis, and I knew it was something more. So I spent the summer at the local library at Western Kentucky University while my mom was studying to become a library science, to get her library science degree, and ended up diagnosing myself with it. So I was pretty smart, standout, intelligent-wise, here in my hometown of Bowling Green, Kentucky, and it made me stand out in other ways which were negative socially. So it was easy for people to take pot shots at me and eventually end up calling me crazy, ostracizing me, stigmatizing me, basically making me, shunning me. And I don't know if I can ever forgive people for that. If there is a heaven and I die and go there, it'd be a lot easier, won't it? But basically, this video is just to call out Dr. Donald Nassr, the chimpanzee ordered me to take the medicine, I was unable to say no, or I wasn't going to get out of the hospital ever. And this same thing happened to other patients. And a few of them, I'm not sure what happened to them. I know I'm going to die. And I looked it up then, even when the internet was very young. And I kept finding indications that people were dying in previous trials of Clozapine. And I brought this concern to him, especially since he was testing my blood a lot more than he said he would. He apparently thought there was something going on with my liver enzyme levels. And I think he actually revealed that a couple of times, hoping I wouldn't, seize upon that. Well, I didn't, because I'm no doctor. I don't hold any kind of degree. And so here I am 20 years after it was administered me. And liver cancer. Didn't drink, never smoked a cigarette in my life. Didn't do any drugs, recreational, or anything. Just nothing. So, really took care of my liver. I'm going to die of liver cancer here within a year, or maybe less, maybe more. So, that's what this is. This is basically a video hoping that if I do die after I die, someone will look this joker up, Donald Nassr, and get him for the things he did to me, and finally hold him responsible posthumously, too late, for what it did to me. I do hope that if somebody, I don't care if people examine my body and examine my liver. There's been a biopsy done at Norton about right around the Super Bowl this year, 2015. So if anybody wants to look that up, you more than have my permission if it's to hunt the joker down and hold him responsible for creating experiments that later killed people. It's easy to Google liver cancer, Clozapine, and find National Institute of Health.gov studies, case studies where people died. And it was rare, so most people would think it's excusable. But I told him I had Poland syndrome. I was telling people that for the past 30 freaking years. And if a doctor doesn't listen, that's a shame. The reason I say that is if you go to Wikipedia, unless some asshole removes this, one of the primary characteristics of this Poland syndrome, named after a doctor way back in the late 1800s who experimented on prisoners against their will. Well, they had their permission. Anyway, one of the primary characteristics is liver biliary tract anomalies. What does that mean to you or me? I don't know. It could mean that I'm dying because back when I was administered Clozapine, my liver enzyme readings were coming back different or off because there was an anomaly then, as there always will be with me, and that the doctor went ahead and administered it without really looking into the side effects on someone who had a rare birth defect. That's the words I want studied after I die. I want people with degrees to study those effects of Clozapine on. It's very rare, Poland syndrome, but if you can find people who have Poland syndrome who report having taken Clozaril or Clozapine and later developed liver cancer, or families of those people, maybe we can track some of it down and hold the people responsible who committed acts of malpractice, because I'm 46 and I don't really think I deserve to die.